Could be. And, I did make a little bit of a mistake as well. I started talking about mages, and Zyro's just ready with the flood of information. So what else do you have for us on that Reload Esports mage?
Yeah, so I I don't want to say this is completely new tech because it's probably been talked about before, but I don't think we've seen it in the MDI yet. Shem was running that Night Fae legendary for
Hmm.
mages. So whenever you're shifting powers channeled, 1 minute cooldown. Every time it hits a target, it increases both your crit and haste by 1%, which is insanely valuable. The haste multiplicative scaling on top of your icy vans, on top of all the haste you're already stacking as that spec, it's actually a ton of haste in 15-second uptime. That seems wild to me, and I'm pretty sure it actually like refreshes for every tick of shifting power. So that's actually a ton of stats, and that's a big just buff to your overall AoE damage. Now you lose out on some of that focus single target damage that Frost Mage brings, but this is actually like really really interesting idea, because the legendary that most Frost Mages are running, which is that Ice Lance is every 2 seconds after you Frozen Orb, that kind of loses value when you're already spamming out a ton of Frozen Orbs, because you should be getting those Fingers of Frost procs pretty much on cooldown anyways. So I wonder if this is something we'll see more of from more mages, because the overall damage in that dungeon was Shim doing like 28k overall versus Genji's 22k, and that's a big damage differential. I wonder if he's going to run it again in this whole. It's the same thing, right? It's just big pull back to back to back.
All right, so there we go. We'll see what Echo has to show us here in this dungeon. We saw Reload Esports yesterday. They are going to this right side. They're pulling Arkaleth immediately in to this shard pool. Looks like Echo is doing the same thing. So both of them pulling the shard, controlling the gargoyle, and also dealing with these inspired Houndmasters. So there's no way they can interrupt the Inferno cast from the Tormentor. So it's just going to go through and needs to be out-healed by the Paladins with their Ashen running.
Yeah, but of course, with the wings, with the Ashen, with the Bloodlust popped, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. And of course, with that insane focus damage, single target damage comp that both teams are running, again with the Frost Mage and the Rogue, they shouldn't have any issues bursting them down. But check this out. Same pull size in Reload Esports has just put Echo to shame here. They finished that first pull like 10 seconds faster. Yes, Echo pulled like one extra mob, but I'll take 10 seconds of an advantage, 15 maybe, over 1% trash any day of the week.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the MDI companion is already updated. You guys can check it out as well under mdi.gcd.tv. And it looks like Shimkins, or Simkins, I believe his name is. He just renamed him because of Shimmer, I guess, which is a really nice one as well. But he is running that same legendary again, and it really does seem to be paying off. I mean, the amount of damage this Frost Mage is doing is just insane. Of course, Gingy's also doing a lot of damage, but it does seem to be a little bit of a difference, and they're clearing those packs quite a bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, look at the difference in the damage in that pull, right? Shim was up near like the 50+k area. Gingy's only around the 40k, and you might be thinking, oh, they're both still topping the meters, but doing 25% more damage than your counterpart is like, it's a huge deal. I mean, I saw this legendary and I thought, oh, that's pretty decent, but I was thinking about Fire Mage when I thought about it, right? And you're never going to play any other legendary as a Fire Mage, right? You're almost always going to be playing just that crit damage boost. But for Frost, crit and haste are just your two best stats on AoE, right? Because of the way Shadow works for Frost Mage, you get insane value out of crit, and then on top of that, you get more Icy Propulsion stacks as well. I mean, your Icy Veins cooldown is pretty much like 10 seconds on a big AoE pull at this. And also, the stacking value of haste lowers your Blizzard cooldown. The lower your Blizzard cooldown is, the more Frozen Orbs you get out. The more Frozen Orbs you get out, the more AoE damage you do. Frozen Orb is your top damage by far in a dungeon like this. So, yeah, stacking haste percentage increases are just nuts for Frost Mage, and I love seeing the new legendary tech.